Greetings, Lucky Legends. My name is Lucky. This is Lucky.TV. I'm your host for this video, and it is time for another not VGC, GBA match breakdown. And pretty much every week, this is just my plan. I'm going to have 2 of these videos. And the reason I'm going to be doing 2 is because each week for the GBA, I write 2 articles. So my plan is to write articles based on the 2 battles that record these videos based on the 2 battles that I will be covering that Sunday. And this week, I'm doing Nip's battle and Shady's battle. And you already saw the video that I did on Nip's battling the Cincinnati Loudreds with Mulvone. And this one is about 2 good friends of mine, Mr. Shady Penguin and Mr. A-Drive. They're both such great guys, and they're actually in the same division, so they're going to be battling again in the future. And I should actually inform the group that this week 2, I call dibs on Nips versus Mulvone and Shady versus A-Drive. Just because I want to call them ahead of time so that nobody tries to steal them from me. Because that's not okay. And silence this so that you don't hear my Skype shit going off. Anyway. As to the actual, this is not a prediction. I don't believe in predictions because of how many variables there are in this. I do, however, believe in breakdowns. And by the way, the reason that there's no hat and I'm wearing all these snazzy clothes is because I just came from work. For those of you that do not know, I'm a chef in a restaurant. Do with that information what you will. But as you have seen on the screen for like the past 3 minutes of my babbling, each team is very different. Shady's team is very fast and hits very hard, whereas A-Drive's team is much bulkier. A-Drive's team is much bulkier. On A-Drive's team, as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3 Mons that are really only good for sweeping. And on Shady's team, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 Mons that are only good for sweeping. But the other thing is, there are no Mons on Shady's team that are only good for being a wall. Whereas on A-Drive's team, you have 2. You have the Mega Sableye, which is fat as fuck. And you have Chansey, which is fat as fuck. The fattest Mons that Shady has on his team, he has the Regirock, which is a monster of a physical wall. And he has the Milotic, which makes a monster of a special wall. And the issue there is that they're both weak to grass. Otherwise, they sort of work well together. But the thing is, Shady also has Superior, and Superior, it's better suited as a sweeper now that it has Contrary, but it's actually really fat. I think it has base 95 defense and special defense. And the other advantage that Shady has is he has Galvantula with Sticky Web. And unless A-Drive has his Mega Sableye already Mega Evolved, then the only real counters he has to that are, I know Archeops learns Defog. I believe that Volcarona might. I'm pretty sure A-Drive told me that. I popped by his stream earlier today to say hi and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure Volcarona gets Defog, because I'm pretty sure I heard him say that. You would, of course, have to gen it that way, but I do believe that he said that. Does it get defogged? I'm gonna have to look on Showdown because Bulbapedia is not as clear for stuff. Volcarona. Do you learn Defog? You don't. So, actually, A-Drive's only answer to Stealth Rocks is in fact the Archeops. That's his only thing. And the thing about Archeops is that it's not that good. It's decent, but once it goes below half health, it's booty. It's still really fast, but its ability is Defeatist, and that's the only ability it gets, and when you're below 50% health, it halves your attack and special attack. So that's kind of an issue there. However, A-Drive does have the counter in the form of the Mega Sableye with the Magic Bounce. So if he opens up with the Mega Sableye, that's probably his best bet. The other thing that A-Drive has as an advantage is Mew. Mew is, to be perfectly honest, Mewtwo should not be the poster mon of the GBA. It really should be Mew. The reason being, it learns every move. Actually, Smeargle should be the poster mon now that I'm thinking about it. This is my personal opinion. I know why Mewtwo is. It's because it's Mewtwo. It's the Pokemon. You can't use Arceus because it's God. Mewtwo is like the pinnacle of all battling Pokemon. Has the highest base stat total in the freaking game when it Mega Evolves. It's terrifying. Anyway, when you look at A-Drive's team, he has the Mew. And Mew can learn any TM and HM in the game. And it also has a pretty decent level up moveset. As you saw, hopefully, they did metronome battles, which was hilarious. But we need to look at Shady's team as well. Shady's team has the Mega Scizor, which is my favorite Mega, because, well, no, it's not my favorite Mega. It's my favorite Mega to use in battle. It's my favorite Mega to use in battle because it only has one weakness in fire, and it has Switch Initiative, it has Priority, it's bulky as hell when you want it to be, and it gets Recovery. It really gets a little bit of everything. And with Technician, it means that your priority moves are even stronger. The other advantage that Shady has is he has a lot of Pokemon that can set up rocks. He has a Zelf, which can set up rocks, although it's really better suited for attacking. He has the Regirock, which can set up rocks. He has the Galvantula, which can set up sticky webs. And the other advantage that Shady has is he has Mega Scizor, which can learn Defog. And Honchkrow can also learn Defog. So he has two possible Defoggers. However, he doesn't have a Rapid Spinner. So if he uses Defog, he's going to be getting rid of his own hazards as well. However, rocks are not that important to Shady's team. Only 3 of them have the weakness. Only Rotom, Galvantula, and Honchkrow have the weakness. And Galvantula is a Pokemon that you really need to open up with. But it kind of balances itself out because A-Drive's only Defogger or Rapid Fogger is what I say, is a Defogger. He doesn't have a Rapid Spinner either. So, again, that's something that really balances itself out. Shady's team has debatable bulk. Like, you can't tell somebody that Chansey's going to set up and sweep. It just can't. It's Chansey. But to the same extent, that actually really works in Shady's favor because when you bring in a Regirock, it can be the Weakness Policy Rock Polish set, or it can be the Stealth Rock set. Whereas if you bring in, like I said, if you bring in a Chansey, it's a Chansey. It's going to be a Chansey. That's all it's going to do. Azelf can explode, which would take out a lot of Pokemon. Azelf has 125 base attack. Normal gem boosted. There you go. But in terms of breaking down what each person needs to bring, because you can read all this stuff yourself, Shady has a triple weakness to fire. 3 weaknesses, one of which is a double weakness, which is his Mega. A-Drive has no fire types. The only fire coverage that he really gets is Mew, which learns everything. Nidoqueen, which learns Flamethrower. I believe... Oh, he has Volcarona. So, he's definitely going to have to bring the Volcarona. Otherwise, he really doesn't have much of anything to touch Mega Scizor because it bops so much stuff. So, I don't know why that completely slipped my mind. But the Volcarona is definitely going to come from A-Drive, which means Shady needs something with rocks to set up the rocks, because it'll take 50% of Volcarona's health right off the bat. Ice is also a big problem for Shady, so we'll probably... I can almost guarantee that we're going to see the Mew. My guess is A-Drive will bring the Mew every week, because you don't know what it's going to do. It can do anything. It can. It can learn any setup move that's a TM. It can learn any attacking move that's a TM. It can learn any status move that's TM. It can do anything. So we will probably see the Mew, the Volcarona, the Nidoqueen, and... Okay, now it's going off on my phone. You're definitely going to see those 3 from A-Drive. The other thing that Shady needs to look out for is the Rock-type attacks and the Fairy-type attacks. Just because Terrakion would do a number on Shady's team, because Terrakion's a monster. Terrakion don't care. But as for what Shady will probably bring, and I'm being Skyped right now, I don't care if you want Coopers. Feel free to take Coopers. I'm doing Shady and Nips every fucking week. They are my boys. They are my boys. Anyway, a water type. I highly expect to see the Milotic. Milotic really pulled through for Shady last week. I think it will again. The Steel type. We're going to see the Mega Scizor. The Rocks, we'll probably see the Regirock, just because it has really nice physical bulk. Most of A-Drive's Pokemon are physical attackers if they want to hit the Regirock hard. It would have to be a special attack, and he doesn't, and he only really has the Rotom Wash for that, because Gourgeist is physical, Klinklang is physical, Nidoqueen is special. However, I don't think Nidoqueen has the power to one-shot Regirock, because Regirock is fat. It still has base 100 special defense. Like, it's nothing to sneeze at. But we're definitely going to see the Mew. But Mega Scizor, you can't say that something counters Mew, because Mew can do everything. And if Mew is... Actually, now that I think about it, I don't even think Mew needs to be invested in speed, because it has base 100 across the board. So, A-Drive could run Flamethrower on Mew, which would one-shot a Mega Scizor, and I'm pretty sure it would outspeed. And a Bullet Punch is not going to OHKO a Mew, because it's Mew. It's got 100 across the board. It's pretty fat. Shady also definitely needs to bring something with some ice coverage, some fighting coverage, some ground coverage, some steel coverage. A little bit of everything. He can bring Conkeldurr to do most of that. He could probably bring the Garchomp as well. A-Drive has no Ice Stab, which means that Garchomp can sort of come in relatively safely as an opening Mon. I don't expect to see the Rotom Heat. It really doesn't help Shady out that much, except for Switch Initiative. However, A-Drive has a Ground type, and he has a lot of fire resistances. In the form, he has the Terrakion, he has the Archeops, he has the Rotom Wash, which will eat those up for days. And the other thing we're definitely going to see from Shady is something with knockoff, so I really expect the Conkeldurr to come, just deal with that Chansey. But looking at this, the 6 Pokemon I expect Shady will bring, I'm expecting to see the Mega Scizor, the Conkeldurr. I'm thinking we're going to see the Regirock and the Milotic. Probably the Galvantula. And I'm going to say the Ambipom. I know I haven't mentioned Ambipom, but it has Switch Initiative and it has the Fake Out, which is always useful. From A-Drive, I expect to see the Mew. I expect to see the Volcarona, the Nidoqueen. I'm guessing we're going to see the Archeops. Probably the Rotom Wash. And I'd say we'll probably see the Terrakion would probably be the last one. So Mew, Terrakion, Volcarona, Nidoqueen, Archeops, and the Rotom Wash. That's my guess. I haven't talked to either of them about what they're bringing yet. Hopefully they watch this. Hopefully they enjoy it. But I've done my part. So with that, I'm going to get about. Best of luck to you out there. I will see you all soon. Goodbye.